Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, guys. Today we're going to talk about seeking knowledge. What is knowledge? How do you seek it? Can you even attain knowledge and stuff? And many things like this. From the thumbnail, you already see, if you are aware of these people that are put there, in the individuals that are in the thumbnail of this video. So you have Muhammad Hijab, you have Brother Abdurrahman Hassan, and then you have Asara Rashid. I could have put more, but I couldn't fit everybody in. So I tried to represent people from different paradigms, okay? And if we know them, you probably support one of them or whatever. Now, we're going to talk about knowledge. So I saw some months ago, I saw this, I didn't watch the video, but I just saw like the thumbnail of Brother Abdurrahman Hassan saying seeking knowledge and why we should seek knowledge. And every party, every camp emphasizing the idea of knowledge, that seek knowledge. Okay, everyone wants you to seek knowledge because it's important to seek knowledge, right? So I used to think like, okay, so what is that knowledge that should be sought? Okay, now to somebody that doesn't know about this, you'll be like, okay, who should I study with? Where is that knowledge located and where do I get it? You will see like there's more about it than just saying seek knowledge. Okay, go and seek knowledge. And then I go into the Islamic tradition. Which knowledge should I seek? Okay, but like for instance now, I think most Islamic studies should be like is split into like is either you study hadith or you study fiqh, which is jurisprudence, or you study like akida or tafsir or something like this. So is that knowledge? Yeah, that's knowledge too. If I study tafsir of the Quran, if I study hadith science, if I become a theologian studying akida stuff, all these things will be considered as knowledge, right? And I made a video some time ago about is knowledge is empirical, right? Isn't it? If I know something, I know it. So I'm trying to delineate knowledge from belief. Okay, so now let me tell you, for instance, if I tell you I know it is raining outside and I believe that it is raining outside, you immediately see like there's a difference between the two. Knowing that it is raining outside, for you to say that statement is you are absolutely certain that it's raining outside. Maybe you just came back from it, or for you to say that you know something, it has to be that it's absolutely true. Okay, but if you say I believe that it is raining outside, then that one is a little bit softer. What you are saying really is that it is possible that it is raining outside, or it is more probable. Now you need to have some kind of reason why if you know that it is raining outside, it's probably like you have already experienced it. But if you believe that it is raining outside, it's either that you have some proofs, maybe you are hearing the sound of the rain, or something. You have to have some kind of evidence that you will use to justify that belief. Okay, so you have a justifiable belief and you have knowledge. Now there's Imam Al-Ghazali talked about the kind of knowledge that some people expect from the Islamic sciences. They expect this kind of 100% certainty, whereas all you can get sometimes is just justifiable belief. All you can get sometimes is justifiable belief, not the kind of knowledge you're looking for. Because if we define knowledge as absolutely true, something that corresponds to reality, okay, so you have reality and knowledge is to know that reality, then it becomes very small, the things that we can put in that category. For instance, 1 + 1 = 2. That will be some kind of necessary knowledge that is true. Okay, that's a true belief and is necessary. But this kind of mathematical knowledge, Imam Al-Ghazali was saying that you cannot bring that kind of lens to come and look at Islamic sciences, which I actually agree with. You cannot do that. If you try to do that, many things will not meet that standard of absolute certainty, because we are talking about some things that are even historical. How do you even know if it was said? You're going to have to build some kind of hermeneutics and some kind of context to buttress that point, which will make it a kind of justifiable belief, not necessarily absolute certain knowledge. Okay, so if you now understand this point, this difference between the two, between justifiable belief and knowledge, you will not be like seeking knowledge. If your goal is seeking knowledge, in the sense that we have defined knowledge, you have to already know it. before you can. So if let's say it has to be necessary, it has to be absolutely clear for it to be knowledge. It has to be something everybody is just agreeing to. Nobody's disagreeing about it. For instance, 1 + 1 = 2. That's knowledge. Like, nobody can deny that, right? Or among the Muslims, the idea that God exists, or that there's Tawheed and stuff. That's knowledge, right? Because everyone knows it. You can just know it, right? But other issues like fake issue, where should you put your hand? Where should you put your leg? Or when you go into Akida issues, sometimes it's not absolutely clear as you want it to be. It's going to be, at the end of the day, be a kind of justifiable belief. You're going to provide some kind of proofs to buttress that point. I'm not saying you're not going to find one much more probable, but the possibility is open to all somehow. The possibility is open to all. Now, we talked about where should we seek knowledge from. How are you going to know? Like, the kind of knowledge that most people are advocating for is the kind of knowledge that come and study with me. That's what they are mostly advocating for. Come and study with our camp because we are 100% correct. Because this is the true knowledge and those other guys are wrong. That's the kind of knowledge they're advocating for. I cannot count how many times just this week people have advised me to come and study with them or come and learn something from them. And I'm like, what are you teaching? Are you teaching some kind of general knowledge, or are you teaching your particular understanding of things in a way that no other person can be right on the issue? Is that what you're teaching? If that's what you're teaching, I can just study only your stuff and think that that's knowledge. Whereas, if you want to look at knowledge holistically, you have to study everybody in a way. You have to study at least the main ones. So if you want to study Akida, you have to study all the Akida that is available to know each position, to be able to know which one is quote-unquote true, right? If you want to study fiqh, you have to study all of them to know which one is true. But you can just study one and just stay there and think this is the truth. That's also, you might be right, but you can be wrong because there are other positions, okay? So I don't want to make this video too long. Maybe in another time I will explain to you some other things about truth and reality and stuff. So let's just talk about this. For instance, the correspondence theory of truth. It says that something is true if it corresponds to reality. So it will be true that it's raining outside if it is actually raining outside. So if you go outside and it's raining, then that statement is true. But if it is not raining outside, then it is false. Okay, so correspondence theory of truth, it says that truth must correspond to reality. If it doesn't correspond to reality, it's false. Now, if you want to go and see, how do you know which knowledge is true? For instance, is it Ashari, is it Salafi, is it Athari, is it all these ones? How do you know which one is true among them? Or can you even talk about truth when you talk about, for instance, the four madhabs? Can you talk about truth? Like, which one is true? Or are they all true? So listen to this kind of division now. We already said truth must correspond to reality. So let's say reality is P. P is reality, okay? Now, A, B, C are talking about P. So A can be true if A equals to P. If A equals to P, then A is true because P is reality, right? Now, if A, B, C are all claiming to be P, it's either all of them are wrong or one of them is correct, okay? Or they are all correct, or what would be the last option? I think those three options, right? So if they are all claiming to be the reality, is either all of them are wrong, which means that they are not P, but they think they are P, or one of them is correct and the other ones are wrong, okay? That will be another case where one of them is correct and the other ones are wrong, or what's it called? All of them are correct. How can all of them be correct if they are not identical? If A, B, C disagree with each other, but they all claim to be P, reality, they can all be right if they are just an aspect of P. So if they are an aspect of P, or they are looking at it, so P will be like, let's say P is like a ball. They are all looking at it. Maybe one is looking at it from the top, one is looking at it from the bottom, and the other one is looking at it from the side. then all of them are correct. They are not identical to the entirety of P, but they're part of P. They're an aspect of P, a way of looking at, a way of viewing P, which is reality. So I think the four mazhabs, according to the whole narrative, they will fall into this last category of saying somehow all of them are correct. That's what most people say, right? I don't know about Salafis, but this is what people say about the four mazhabs. You can be a Maliki, you can be a Hanbali, it's okay, right? So somehow they can even disagree, but somehow they are all justified. They are justifiable reason for believing that proposition is true. So anyway, what I'm showing you is that somehow you need to already know P. You need to know the truth before you can go and seek it. That's what it seems to be. Most people are advocating for. I need to be able to know that you are the one that's saying the truth before I go and study. How can I do that? Isn't it better, or isn't it the best thing is to actually examine each claim and then find the truth? Somehow you need to know the truth first, and then you find. And actually, there's a narration about this that I think is attributed to Ali ibn Abi Talib, that know the truth and then you see its people. Something like this. Know the truth and then you see its people. But this is what, if you watch my last video about proof text dumping, this is where you can take that in and then you forget to see the other implications that it can bring. And then you interpret it like, you must somehow know the truth. But everyone will kind of see like, maybe I don't know the truth. I'm going to have to find it somehow by actually studying all the possible options that are here available to me. And I'm not going to just put myself in one already and then get stuck in there and fail to realize that the other ones could be right and I could be wrong, for instance. So seeking knowledge should be, in my own opinion, an active what's it called? An active adventure where you go out and literally seek it, and you literally study, and you literally try to find which one is much more plausible, which one maybe at the end of the day is justifiably true, which one whose justifiable belief is much more probable. Maybe that's what you're going to have to leave it at, and you might not even attain it at the end of the day. But that's what you should be. That's your attempt. You need to try to find it, try to seek it, and I think that's the best approach. This will be the part one of this, talking about truth, knowledge, and justifiable belief. You see, all these things are very very important concepts that we'll delve into in other videos. Maybe the next one I'll show you two camps of people. You know, once you put like books at the back of your back, it seems like you're knowledgeable, right? You have books at the back. Like all of them have books at the back. Like you have books, you are probably sitting in a library. Then how come you disagree? How do you disagree with each other? You see, this is where it's not as simplistic as you think. If I grow up in a particular region, I'm going to know the knowledge of that part and not know the other one from the other side. And I will think my position is absolutely true and those guys are false. You see? So you need to do better than that, I think. And let me see what you guys think in the comment section. What's your opinion on this issue? And in the next part, we'll go into we'll do the part 2. Stay tuned, guys. See you guys later. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.